Okay, we're back. This time on a completely different character, Kornev, my mystic. Oh, and company. What do we got here? Land of the Dead. Alright, well anyhow. Let's see. We visited Antonica, we visited Kinos, and I think it's time that we do a little more in-depth look at Stormhold, because, well, I like Stormhold. Stormhold's awesome. That used to be my stomping grounds way back in the day. Let's see. Stormhold's this way. Anyways, as I was saying, Kornev here is a mystic, healing class. And by healing class, I mean total badass, because, well, he is. Not to be confused with not total badass, because he isn't. Now, where were we? Yes, Antonica. Oh, yeah, this is the gate to North Antonica. Hey, look, wings. Once again, not everyone can have wings. You have to be a certain level of cool. You know, it's like those old little play pens. You must be this tall to enter. Well, you must be this cool to have wings. Yeah, those wings. All badass. I'm just flying here like I'm awesome. Because I am. So there. Anyways, yeah, this, Kino's here. Nice little bridge. There's a heritage quest down here. That's what this little purple icon means. Has a quill feather. Well, you can't see it now because he's talking over it. Thanks there, jerk. How about you, shut up so I can showcase. There you go. Thanks. Yeah, see, that's a little quill pin there. Feather quill pin. Purple icon means it's a heritage quest, which means it has something to do with EverQuest 1. Yeah. In this case, it's kind of like a foot race, but not really. You're racing the clock, I guess. You're not really racing anyone else. But yeah. So anyways, Stormhold. As you recall, Stormhold is the stronghold of the ex-stronghold of the Knights of Thunder. Something terrible happened there. And the place has fallen into ruin and is overrun with monsters, slimes, undead. You go deep enough and you'll have goblins trying to claw your face off. I wonder what could have happened. Well, we'll find out. We're just going to be flying over Stormhold. Now, as you can see, we're crossing the plains here. Stormhold is right there. Way over there. It's on the eastern edge of Antonica. Over by the Thundering Steppes. Let's see, the level range of Stormhold. It's been a while since I've actually paid attention, but I believe the enemies start at around 15 and go up to in the 30s. Fallen Gate's similar. Starts off in the teens and works its way up. It's a good little zone. It's not such a great zone if you have a big character, because you will have trouble hitting your head on the ceiling. And while your character might not appreciate the headache, I don't appreciate the camera getting obscured all the time. It's annoying. So, yeah, if you're a Sarnak, you're not going to have as much fun in Stormhold as a Fae. I used to run into that problem all the time, way back when we used to do this, and it was actually a real group zone. Long ago, heroic encounters were heroic encounters. You could do them solo, but it was a heroic effort that was required to do so. That's changed. Hey, look, I can subscribe if I wanted to. I could also subscribe if they gave me a reason to. I'm still waiting for them to do that. I don't like the way they promise new features and then immediately go back on those promises. I was really hoping when they were bought by, what was it, Columbus Nova or something like that? I was really hoping that they'd break that habit, but nope. Holly's doing it just as much as Smoke Jumper did. Yay. Anyhow, this is Stormhold. We've been here before, but yeah. Don't forget that key back in the beginning. Here's the entryway. These bell pulls. Oh. Gynock. G-Y-N-O-K. Gynock. That's your first clue that something to... Well, actually, I guess your real first clue is this right here. Sturdy wooden double doors broken in. But by what? Anyways, there are these bell ringers. You can pull them, and things will happen. Things related to the 4 symbols. We covered this last time. There are 4 symbols here on the floor. I don't remember which is which. I think it's darkness, suffering, destruction, and pain. You'll have to forgive me. I got a case of the hiccups tonight, and I have no idea why. I'm getting them a lot recently. Anyhow, those are the scions of corruption that rose up and, well, laid waste to Stormhold. Hey, look, see, this got broken over. Shattered stone column. The walls are cracked. What could have possibly happened? An unknown force holds this door shut. Now, unfortunately, I can't tell you what that unknown force is because they've never revealed it. For all we know, there could be something really bad in that room, or there could have been someone taking refuge in that room and they sealed the door with some type of holy power, waiting for rescue that never came. Obviously, the place is still pretty much trashed. So if you go in here, you'll find Defiled Lord Byron. Yeah, he looks kind of cool there. He's got a little Sauron-y helmet. Nice two-handed sword on his back. Oh, here's the Quartermaster Burlon, calling for vengeance. Look around, you find defiled knights. Corruption seems to be the theme of this location. More defiled knights. There's nothing really important. Somewhere down here, I think, is the locksmith, I believe. Yeah, locksmith Jarl. There he is, with Jarl. I'm not sure which. Oh, yeah, I'll just probably show you here. You run up here and, oh, look! Tunneling zombie. There was a cave-in. The wall, or the door's been broken down. Wow, moved the mouse a little too fast there. More the same over here. Again, that's pretty much the theme of this dungeon is corruption. Something terrible happened in Stormhold. And as you go deeper and deeper into the quest of the zone, you realize that the Lord of the Knights of Thunder, one chest guard, started dabbling in darkness. Or defiled sentries. And there's a little obelisk that you can get a quest from, which is just to kill like, was it 50 of these, or 25 of these, or something like that. Over here you have a quest. Actually, oh yeah, here it is, the dice. This one gives you a quest to actually hunt down and defeat the scions of corruption. But the scions of corruption are not responsible. They were actually a result of his playing with darkness. And some of the lords, like Andrus, you remember the ghostly lord on the chessboard, he was one of them. They helped. The darkness rose up from beneath and swallowed up the knights. There's some zombie knights. Curse of Undead. Hey, look, it's Guard Captain Hess. He was also one of the perpetrators. It's basically Hess, Andrus, the Defiled Lords, and of course Chessguard himself. But what about Gynock? Who is Gynock? Well, Gynock was an erudite paladin, if I remember correctly. I think he was a paladin, who harbored an unreasoning hatred of gnolls. And he did a bad thing during a peace meeting. Yeah, look, little claymore up there, just pulsing with power. Pulsing with power. We'll talk about that in a moment. Anyhow, where was I? Oh, yes. Peace meeting. There was a peace meeting with a group of gnolls, and unfortunately,
Gynok Moltar was invited. And when the Gnoll shaman,
what was his name?
Opala, yes, Opala, extended his paw in friendship, and here's Blacksmith Brig, he, and by he I mean Gynok, lopped it off. He just took his sword and cut his hand off right there and then, which caused Opala, so the story goes, to place a dreadful curse upon him. He was exiled for his act, which sparked a war, and he wandered off to the continent of Delir, where his story diverges from this one. It was sometime after that Chestguard and the Lords started dabbling in the darkness. Was that a part of the curse? We don't know. It's not clearly spelled out. It could have been part of the curse, but it doesn't seem likely, as Opala directed the curse directly to Gynok Moltar and not to his order. We've gone down this spiral staircase, down at the second level of this lovely little zone. Now then, oh look, destruction, Hefintari. Interesting little aside about these guys. These guys are assholes, and not for the reason that you might think. The reason they are assholes is because, well, A, there was that quest to defeat them. You have to kill all four of them, and return their cores to the dais, back up above. However, there is a little caveat to that. They needed to be up. That's what those bell pulls are for. Nowadays, they spawn all the time. And it's no big deal. And as you can see, it's a heroic encounter, but they're not that tough. You can easily solo them at 25. They throw out some nasty dots and a lot of defiling abilities like poison and disease, whatnot, but yeah, no big deal. But the thing that made them true assholes is that they were actually raid mobs. And unless they were already up, you had to spawn them by pulling the bell pulls, or the bell ringers. If the bell rang, then one of them would spawn, which is the one corresponding to the bell ringer you pulled. If it didn't, well, then you'd have to wait, I think it's 20 minutes before the bell ringers refresh and you can use them again. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's not so bad. That in and of itself is not the problem. The problem here is that, well, generally, several groups would be coming in here looking for these guys. So it was a competition. This is not an instant zone. I probably am, but here, let's look. Okay, I am currently the only person in this zone. But there could be other players in here too at any given time. They could come in right now before I even finish the sentence. And if they're gunning for these guys, the cool thing to do is to go look. Is he up? No. Send a scout. Scout with tracking. Or send a literally send someone to scout and look and report back. Is he up? No. Problem with doing that is his aggro range is such that the moment you open this door, he has line of sight and he attacks. So sending a scout, it's a suicide mission. That's not really the important part. The important part is the fact that they were actual raid mobs, not heroic mobs or solo mobs with a raid tag, but actual raid mobs. These things would kick your ass. So imagine the dismay players would feel that are in this zone at the appropriate level actually doing quests that are not related to these assholes, and one suddenly spawns in the middle because a group up top just pulled a bell ringer and boom. Yeah, I have been bitched out many times because of that, and I always tell them, it's not like I'm trying to kill you guys, I'm trying to complete a quest and I need to spawn these guys to do it. But I'm also nice enough to send out a warning. Like, I'm pulling so-and-so's ringer, anyone in the area might want to move. So, yeah. But that's just a little aside about these guys. It's not really lore, but it's mechanics lore, I guess. Memories, the golden age of getting your ass kicked. Anyways, like I said, Chestguard, he started dwelling in darkness, and here we are, the zombie handmaidens. I cannot remember her name. But Lord Cheskar's wife, she actually kept a diary of these events, so that so that people would know what happened. That her husband was corrupted by the darkness and destroyed everything. There's no real lore with these characters. Battle Priest Alexandria and Battle Priest Greyhorn. Alexandria and the Defiled Lords and Blacksmith Jarl or Jarl. No, not that was the locksmith. Blacksmith Briggs. They have a little bit of lore, but it's just a slice. It's just a slice, but it's enough. It's kind of like Prince, what was his name? Prince Rykard of Dark Souls. He's, there's very little lore about him. He's a prince. His name's Rykard, and he was there for some reason, but we don't really know why. It just, And it's the same in this case. There's a sword that you can loot. It's called the Sword of Thunder. I wonder why. And it's a sentient sword because Barrick was one of the Knights of Thunder. Or was he a squire? I cannot remember which, but he was a member of the order, and they decided, they being Battle Priest Alexandria and the lords, whatnot, they all decided that they were going to infuse his soul into the sword, so it would be a holy relic, a sentient holy relic against evil. Well, after a few hundred years of being trapped in the sword, Barrick is a little pissed off, and if you loot him and talk to him, because yes, he's a talking sword, he'll ask you, can you go kick their asses for me, and while you're at it, why don't you take out like 50 members of the Order too, because they're undead and I hate them. And yeah, he's a little demented, but he's a decent sword. He's a pretty cool sword. Later on, if you do a quest line for another sword that you may or may not have seen earlier in this video, you can combine him with a sword. You can basically force his soul out of the sword that he's in and put it in a heritage artifact from EverQuest 1 and give it new powers. Remember, he was a Sword of Thunder, except while he's a Sword of Thunder, I can't remember if he does thunder damage or not. I think he does a little bit of magic damage, just a smidgen per hit, but I don't remember. Oh no, look, this happens sometimes in EQ. It's weird. You look at it just right and it's gone. See, it's gone. I mean, I can still click on it. That's good to know. Anyways, that is a secret passage that takes you to the library. There's a library over here. The library's a pretty nice place. Got some more collectibles on the ground. Watch out for the books, they bite. What I like is there is a quest in this game. Now, it's kind of a dick quest, to be honest. It's to learn the Draconic language. Basically, there are 26 runes of the Draconic language, and they're out there somewhere. Go get them, have fun, and that's basically all the quest tells you. That's why I call it a dick quest. I mean, there's potential there. Like, right here, here's a rune, right here. Notice this one book is sticking out. Now, that is cool. That's one of 26 with a visual clue, but there's no real clue telling you to come here and look. I think they could have done a better job giving you even vague hints where to look. I mean, some of these runes they're cleverly hidden, but that kind of loses its effect when it's in a place that no one would think to go, like it's under a bridge by the water's edge. Well, that's cool and all, but why would anyone go under there? It doesn't even look like you can fit under there. But if you gave us a hint that so-and-so was rumored to have one of the runes in his possession and was last seen in the Fear Rod. Okay, start exploring the Fear Rod. Again, it's vague, but I mean, I'm okay with that. You have an idea of where to look. However, I can tell you this much. It's only going to be in one of the original zones because that quest was with the base launch. Meaning, obviously, it can't be in an expansion zone because, well, there were no expansion zones yet. Hey, look, it's marksman trainer Quintos. Again, another guy doesn't really have any lore behind him. It's just unnamed. Now, somewhere around here, where is it? This isn't it, is it? No, this is not it. I'm sorry. There are some relics. Wait. Is it gone? Or did I got turned around. Here it is. Ha! The Tomb of Valor. Let's go inside. This is a quick little instanced zone. This is where you'll find Lord Chestguard, but it's also where you find an important artifact and one of my favorite weapons, actually. Some people don't understand my love for the sword, but when this game launched, it was, as far as I was concerned, the coolest looking sword. I like the model of this sword. Lo and behold, the Tomb of Valor. This is where valorous knights are interred. But wait, what is that? Oh, they're coming to get me, Stormlords. They're really coming to get me. It's an interesting little zone. Somewhere around here. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah. Basically, what you do is you slide one of these coffins open and then close it again. And what you have to do, they will start randomly sliding themselves open. You have to close them all before those ghosts reach them and crawl inside. Mobs will be spawning when one opens, so if this one open, a mob would spawn. You have to kill that mob before you can close it. So it's a DPS race. You got to burn them down and close them before a spirit gets to it. And you got to keep your eyes open because they can open up again. Like this one could open up while I'm clearing this one. If I don't see that, then yeah. And the zone doesn't trigger the boss until you've actually successfully closed all the coffins from that end to this end. And then Chestguard spawns. But here's the artifact I was mentioning. Ghoulbane. Awesome sword. Awesome sword. Does extra damage to undead. Not a lot. A little bit. But I like the model of the Ghoulbane. This is the Ghoulbane. I can't touch it right now because I've already done that quest. But the Ghoulbane. Bane. Whatever. This is a little GB. It's a heritage quest. It used to be a raid and a bitch to complete because no one wanted to do the zones. But not anymore. Now it's pretty damn easy. There's a couple of oh yeah, here's the exits on the ceiling. Remember we came in through the top there. Oh, another thing I should mention, in the library there is a door that leads to the back side of Antonica, but it is locked from the inside, so you have to use it from Stormhold before you can use it from Antonica. Once you've used it, that's it, it's unlocked for you from now on, but you know, it's just something to remember. It takes you directly to the library. Defiled Cavaliers. Going up here, there are a few artifacts in here. The Mace of Thunder, what else was there? There's the mace, there's a goblet or a chalice, can't remember which, and the Tome of Thunder, that's right, the Tome of Thunder is next to the Draconic Rune I showed you back in the library. It's on the table beside it. Here's the chalice, or, yeah, I think it's the chalice, the bowl, maybe, the bowl of thunder. And if you go down, I think it's this way, there's two side exits to this room, it's either this one or the next. There is the what was it? The Vault of something. Vault of the Maelstrom? It's been a long time since we've been down here. It's a little instance, not instance, it's a little ring encounter. Again, the corrupted elements. This place has been corrupted by the Scions of Corruption, but mainly through the actions of Lord Chestguard. He wanted more power and he was corrupted by it. When the corruption seeped up, goblins broke in, laid waste to the place, and yeah, here it is. Vault of Maelstrom. And there's the Maelstrom. Notice it looks just like our good friend Ghoulbane. A lot of swords share that model, but the thing I like about Ghoulbane is that it's a little more detailed. And later on you can empower it, and it glows with holy power, and it's really sexy. Yeah, everyone loves a good Ghoulbane. Well, everyone important loves a good Ghoulbane, which means me, but yeah, whatever. Anyhow, let's continue the story of Stormhold. So yeah, basically, I mean, in a nutshell, the story is just a simple matter of, Gynok did his thing, and then he must have somehow had something to do with the fall of Stormhold, because they are writing his name in blood on the walls. But I couldn't tell you what, because he is not in here. Gynok, his journey took him far away. Yeah, he was a crusader, so yeah, paladin. His journey took him far. He's a watcher of the horde. No lore behind him that I know of. He's just a thing. What's up, dude? Yeah, nice seeing you. As you go in deeper, you'll see that, again, the collapse. The armory is down that way. It's where you'll find a mace. You'll find some fanatic inquisitors, and if that's not enough for you, I think it's over here. You'll find torture. Yay! Implements of torture, because what religious organization would be complete without torture and inquisition? Yeah, but this is not the lowest level. No. The lowest level is back this way. Like I said, the goblins broke in. The goblins, they live down in the tunnels deep below Antonica, and when the stronghold fell, the knights, it's pretty obvious what happened to the knights. They went insane and started killing each other. Hey, look! The corpse hunter. We got a minotaur. What's up, buddy? Wow, I'm pretty big. Please come here and kill this guy on my conjurer. And she's a tiny little thing compared to him, apparently. But that's okay. Not important. Anyways, yeah, they broke through the wall, and lo and behold, and if I'm not mistaken, the corpse hunter came with them, because usually minotaurs and goblins are associated. Not always, but usually. Anyways, down here, see, goblins got their little tunnels and stuff. And there's also some dude. This is his throne. He's a troll. Is he an undead troll? I don't think he's an undead troll. You may remember that ghost in the beginning by that key. That key, by the way, is to the Tomb of Valor. You cannot get inside. Well, you can get inside without it, I believe, but there's an access quest, which you don't need, but if you want to do it, that last step is to find the key. And it's one of those, we don't know where the key is, they hid it. Oh. But you know it's in here. If you saw that key in the beginning, you'll be like, oh, that's what that key was, I bet. All the way back up to the top, and lo and behold, hey look, salamanders. Yay! There's a named salamander around the corner here. No lore, but he's a jerk. There he is. He tends to call the other salamanders into the battle, and it can get pretty hefty if you're not overgeared / leveled for it. It's doable, but it can be a struggle. Now, the reason I'm running through this cave here is I want to show you one last thing. Upon here, as you see, there's black blood ooze. This is a lovely little pool. We got some goblins, and it's possible that I actually took the wrong path. It has been a long time. I think this might be it. Yeah, there he is. Suffering. Yeah, suffering. What do you do when you suffer? Oh, like this is symbolism at its finest. What do you do when you're suffering? You weep. He's underwater. He's drowning in tears. Nice touch. Nice touch, Sony. I'm sorry, Daybreak. Well, no, it was Sony at the time, so nice touch, Sony. Kudos. Like I said, the original release I really liked. They had a storyteller who knew just what the fuck he was doing. I mean, he buried so many hints of what the future expansions would be about. And he did it in such a clever manner. I mean, it's easy to go back with hindsight, but at the same time, it's also just, it's kind of awe-inspiring. Just be like, wow, this was planned out excellently. But yeah, this is Stormhold. Actually, in my Dragons video, I don't think I finished my little rant. It was a brief rant I started, but I got to Jalidar's remains, And I never actually finished what I was saying. I was mentioning the discrepancies in lore. And what I've been talking about was the moon exploding. Before, the moon was blown into chunks. If you looked in the sky, there was just a huge, like, Milky Way nebula. As you can see, you can't go there anymore. They've been tunneling. I remember there was a door in here somewhere that was blocked off, but maybe it's... I don't know. Anyways, the moon was just boom. It was like the Milky Way in the sky was just made up of the chunks of the moon. The problem is there are 3 causes, and they're all from official sources. When the game was... there's the hiccups again. When the game was first coming out, they had what they call it... What do they call it? The book of... I don't remember what it's called. Basically, they had a tome that was telling the story of EQ2. It was like the prologue. Well, the tome basically said that the gods did it as punishment to the mortals for encroaching on the higher planes. It basically was put forward by Zek, God of War. He originally voted to allow the mortals into the higher planes because he thought that his children would be able to conquer, but when the children of other gods were becoming just as powerful, then he wanted to close it off and punish them. The gods were kind of split on it. He wanted not just to close it off, he wanted to kill the mortals, destroy them, wipe out Norath and start over. Noah's flood type thing. Most of the gods, well, not most of the gods, half the gods said nope, and the other half were like, oh, sure, why not? Including Solasek Bro. And I used to like Solasek Bro until I realized he sided with Zek. I was like, dude, fuck you. I believe Brel did too. And it's like, dude, bro, that is not a bro move. You are not a son bro. Then again, my swashbuckler worships Brel, but it's an interesting choice. Well, that's kind of a personal lore thing, and we won't get into that now. But anyways, that's one. The gods did it. Okay, so the gods blew... Well, wait, no. According to the underlying main quest plot line, because this game does have an underlying plot line up to and including Tears of Vishan. According to that plot line, the Awakened blew up the moon. He destroyed the moon as a symbol of his power over all of Norath. Well, okay, that's the official storyline that's saying that. So we've got this book of whatever it was called saying that the gods did it. Then we have the actual storyline saying, no, actually the prismatic dragon did it. He was basically the main bad guy of EQ2 for a very long time, even if we didn't know it. And then the third source is there's a heritage quest. It gets you a cloak. And in this quest, I'm not going to go all through the quest, but the gist of it is you meet a gnome enchantress who travels back in time to view history in the making. But every time she does, she ends up fucking stuff up. For example, at one point, oh yeah, here's that troll dude I mentioned. Yeah, here's the marking him there. But at one point, she went back in time and completely altered the timeline of Norath so that certain events didn't happen, but the clockworks evolved to the point where they had almost completely eradicated all life. They were even beating the dragons back. And at the conclusion of that, she leaves you a letter. She sends a letter through time to you that basically says that was enough excitement, so I think I'm going to stop visiting potential cataclysms, and I've always wanted to check out the Nexus on Luckland. That's the moon, by the way. I mean, what possibly go wrong? Well, that implies that she caused the explosion at Luckland. Having done the quest, you're like, oh shit, she blew the moon up. But no, Carafrim did. No, the gods did. Who blew up the effing moon? I think that I give more weight to the main storyline simply because of the resolution, which I'm not going to tell you because that would spoil it. Now, maybe if I am requested to, I will actually cover the storyline of EQ2. And if that's the case, then eventually, yeah, I will get to the ending and I'll tell you all about it. It'll be great and we'll have a good time and we'll be popping back some sweet Arizona green tea with ginger and honey. maybe have a couple of chips, and we'll just be sitting around the fire talking, and just yeah. Or maybe not. But anyways, that's what I was getting at in my dragon video. It's don't contradict yourselves. Check before you say what's what. There's been times when, well, actually, personal experience. I was on one of my characters, my monk, XR monk, and this was hilarious. There were a couple of developers who were, role playing, and I ran into them. And I'm talking to these developers. We're role playing, and I'm kind of role playing along with them. I'm not a big RPer, but I can get into the mood. Well, they couldn't tell if my XR was a boy or a girl, and they flat out admitted it. I can never tell XR apart. I'm like, what do you mean? The males look like lizards. The females look like snakes or frilled lizards. And they're like, really? And I can't remember what else it was, but they referenced something and got it completely wrong. Yeah. I mean, they got it absolutely completely wrong. I was like, that's not even remotely close. It was one of the gods and their children. They completely got them mixed up, and I'm like, no, they weren't the children of that god. They're the children of this god. Whatever. Anyhow, this is another heritage quest. We're going to talk about it real fast because it's in Stormhold, and it fits with the theme of corruption. Oddly enough, Ghoulbane does not. It was not corrupted. Ghoulbane remained true to its purpose, albeit severely weakened. But this sword is very much a corrupted sword. This sword is the bone-bladed claymore. I don't know much about it from EverQuest 1, but what I do know about it, which comes from the quest to reclaim it, is this. You take the sword, you're filled with rage and bloodthirst and a need to kill. It controls you. And in fact, the first part of the quest, well, not the first part of the quest, it's later on, but the first few steps of the quest send you to kill certain beings. One of them is an old something. I think it's an old shaman. There's I want to say there's a troll who was a former wielder of the blade. That you actually, I think you find him right here. It's a ghostly troll. Then there is a part where it's every time you grasp it. Each step, when you accomplish that feat, you grasp it again, and it sends images into your mind, and you have to focus your willpower to maintain your sanity. And it gives you images of its forging. It was, it's made of bone, which I believe was dragon's bone, and it was quenched in blood. And then you get the idea to go re-temper it. And you have to go find some ebon and go to a special forge in another continent, island, land thing. And then once you do that, the final step is you have to go kill 1,000 sentient beings. It's a bloodthirsty sword. It's very much corrupted. But once you accomplish that goal, and certain undead are sentient, so I didn't have to go kill innocents, you maintain control over it. And this is the blade that you can fuse with Merrick, and it becomes the electrified bone-bladed claymore. However, it's not done yet. It can become even more empowered, because the original... Oh, I know. I remember who the gnoll was. It was Opala. You have to go kill Opala. Opala was its first real victim, you see. This was the sword Gynoc wielded when he cut off his hand. The job was unfinished. The sword is not happy about that. The sword's a bloodthirsty thing. When you think about it, maybe he wasn't a bigot. Maybe the sword was the bigot. The sword drove him to kill the gnoll. Maybe he wasn't filled with hatred. See, when you meet his spirit, and there is a tome of history about him, and he calls it a pack of lies. But it doesn't really explain why it's a pack of lies. So it's one of those, he said, she said sorts of things. But you actually get to relive his ultimate failure, and he strove for redemption. In fact, you know what? We're going to take this video all the way to Moltar, because Moltar is very central to this zone, to Stormhold, the story of Stormhold. Now that I think about it, so I'm kind of wading my way through the lore as I go here. I decided not to just go look up a whole bunch of stuff, because a lot of stuff comes from EverQuest 1, and it's not completely canon in that the team left. Alright, they split in half. So only parts of the EverQuest 1 team worked on EverQuest 2, and they did alter some of those. They retconned. Now, I'm not a big fan of retconning, but hey, they're telling their own story. The reason they gave for it was that there's that ghost I mentioned, the one who's got a quest for that troll. But they were basically treating, I don't know if anyone's played Ultima Online, but they had a kind of a stupid explanation for all the different servers, in that the gem of evil, when the hero from afar shattered it, each one of those shards contained its own reality of the game, and that's what the different servers are. It's dumb, but they're trying to explain a mechanic that doesn't fit into the lore. I mean, seriously, how do you explain the Guk server as opposed to the Lavastorm server? Well, kind of the same deal. It's like, except they took it further. EverQuest 2 is an alternate timeline. EverQuest Next was going to be yet another timeline. EverQuest, I can't remember what it's called, but the one on the PlayStation, that was another timeline. They all split from EverQuest 1. And so things changed. Sometimes big things change, but sometimes not. But anyways, so there you have it. Like, for example, I mentioned that Fae are flower buds, and I was thinking about that earlier today. I don't know if they were in EverQuest 1. I only know from the awakening of the Fae quest in EverQuest 2. They were flowers that they awoken in the footsteps of Tunar, where she walked. The flowers became sentient and developed into the Fae. The Arisai are corrupted Fae blossoms. The Queen of the Dark Elves, she corrupted them with hatred and spite and malevolence, which, when you get down to it, that means the Fae are flowers and the Arisai are weeds. So, yeah, there's that. Anyways, we're taking it over to the next spot. Now, you've seen the Wizard Spire in action, but I haven't shown you a Druid Ring. But you know what? It's basically the same thing. It's just a different model on the screen. It's got a little Stonehenge ring to it. Stonehenge, yeah, kind of like Ultima and the circle of stones with the moon gates, yeah. It all goes back to Ultima, people. It all goes back to Ultima. Because Ultima rules. Until it started to seriously suck after EA bought them, but that's another story. Anyways, as you can see, he's got the frosty effect too. It's an after effect of that armor, but it's good armor. Until I find better, I'll just deal with the after effect. We're coming up, as you can see, there's the Wizard Spire there, and conveniently located just down the hill. Stonehenge, the Druid Ring. And just use a little shrub. There used to be a quest to access this where you had to go around to each one and touch that shrub and gather it, and it would unlock that portal for you to travel to. Anyways, we want to go to the Common Lands, also known as this is the continent of Delir, and this is the continent of I think it's Bale. Pretty sure it's Bale. The Bale family rules Kinos, and Lucan Delir is the overlord of Freeport. But anyways, as I was saying, Gainak Moltar is basically central to the story of Stormhold, so it's fitting that we continue it here. I may split this video into two pieces. In fact, I probably will. Actually, you know what? I'm going to head it to Befallen. That's where we're going to find Moltar. I'm going to talk about that in the next video, but I will stop just outside of it. So I don't want this video to get too big. I tried editing it, the dragon video. I tried editing it with a different piece of software, and it was a little tricky. It didn't really like the format that this recorder uses. So it's better to just upload them directly, I think. Anyways, Befallen was, I was about to say it was recently unearthed, but it was one of those updates where they added it in. Anyways, it was recently unearthed out in the Commonlands. Hey, check it out. It's a tree. Can anyone tell me what type of tree that is? Bet you can't. Is it sitting there? No, it's not sitting there. It's a pomegranate tree. But there's no pomegranate there to clue you in. Damn. I would have picked it up just so I could threaten she with it. I always threaten she with pomegranates. Anyways, this is the ruins of Befallen. There are three pieces of it here. There's this part, and Caverns of the Afflicted, I should say. And then there's the Halls of the Forsaken, which is right here, pretty much the main part. And then the deeper parts is the, what's it called? Necrotic Asylum. Also, in the same order that I listed them, easy, medium, hard. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to end this video right here, and in the next one, I'll finish talking about a guy like Moltar. So, thanks for watching. Leave a comment if there's anything you liked or hated, if I ramble too much, whatever. If there's any questions you have, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, peace out. Thanks for watching.